Now, let me take us back to our commitment, our service commitment. I talked about us being a better way. We offer you a better way to win when you invest and earn from real estate. That we partner with you to create a sustainable wealth for you and your family, and even your families when you've come and gone. So it's generational. About our staff, our people are a dedicated force of highly skilled, trusted, and professional staff and representatives. I, for one, I spent over 2 decades in the banking industry before I found Assetrise and I pitched my tent with them. So integrity is our watchword and professionalism is our keyword. Our products are basically divided into three. We have the partnerships, we also have what we call investments, and for cooperatives. Now, for cooperatives, it's basically for you to save and earn dividends or interest as it were. Investment, we have several investment vehicles for you to come into. The EcoYams project, where you can invest at minimum of 300,000 and then your money works for you for the harvest year and you earn nothing less than 75% on that based on the harvest of the yams. And it's not just about the yams, it's the principle behind that project, which is food security. We know what food is all about now. So we are not just playing in the real estate, we are playing big time in agro real estate. Then, of course, we have the partnership. You can partner with us to build and sell and own. We'll have a lot of prestige ambience projects and the rest of them. But we'll go into this as we progress. So that's just the summary of our products. Now, what we sell to you is not just real estate. We offer you value. We look at what your money can do for you and what you earn from your money through our real estate. That's why we call it transactional real estate. And one of the things we'll be looking at this evening is one of our products, our key products, called the Palmrich Estates, which by the grace of God, after this session, the Group Managing Director, Mr. Atini, who is Harvard Trade, will speak to us authoritatively and confidently on that project. So moving on our niche, we provide affordable homes to every Nigerian, home and abroad, because our watchword is integrity, professionalism. We don't play with it. We build sustainable wealth for our customers. We eradicate poverty while combating food insecurity, like I mentioned with our project, the EcoYams project. Then, once you commit your funds, once you've made a decision to deal with us, to partner with us, to invest with us, it's what we call the moment of truth. Once that payment is made, then we'll take it up from there. We'll give you access to inspection of our estates, whether it's by proxy or by self, to give you that comfort. Whatever it is you want us to provide for you, we'll open up our books for you to look at, the government approvals and all whatnot, before we move into the allocation exercise, and then we'll do all the documentation that's associated with those exercises. So, like I said, what we are selling to you is not just land, it's not just property, it's not just beautiful homes. We're selling value to you, values that you can trust, values that you can rely on, values that you will beat your chest on and say, look, I've enjoyed this, so I'm referring my friends, my families to you. And in any case, once you refer an entity to us, there is an incentive for you. So it's part of the values that we're creating for our partners, for our clients, for our customers, for our consultants, for everybody that deals with us. There is something in it for you. So we're creating wealth for you. We're creating generational values for you. So for today, we'll be looking at our Palmrich Estate. I wouldn't want to overlog it. I will leave that to my boss, who is Mr. Rotimi Ajamamoye, who is Harvard trained anyway, to take us through that. And I'll please urge each and every one of us to take notes. whatever it is that is not clear to you, whatever questions, ideas, suggestions that you feel you want to make, you want to take, you want to contribute before that moment of truth, please give us that benefit of the doubt, take notes, and at the end of the session by the GMD, there will be another session for the question and answer, clarification, suggestions, and ideas before we close the session for the day. So, on behalf of Assetrise Management and the staff, I want to welcome especially all of you, and I want to thank you for making our time to join this session. And by the way, please, we do not take this for granted. We know how busy everyone is. We love you and we welcome you especially to this session. And we thank you. We urge you to pay attention, take notes. And no, I can see hands up. I can see hands up. We'll take those questions at the end of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, you are once again welcome to this session on our Palmrich Estate to be anchored by the Group Managing Director, Mr. Kunu Ojamamuye. I yield the floor for now. Thank you and welcome once again. This session is hereby declared open for commencement of the training session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wilson Ojuku. All right. Next we have the GMD on stage, Mr. Rotimi Ojamama. Please, are you available? Hello, sir, Mr. Rotimi.
I think he's having a little bit of problem with the connectivity. Yes. You know how these things can happen sometimes.
He's trying to join us, but I would like to give opportunity to those two persons that raise up their hands. Please, if you have a question aside from the Palmrich Estate, kindly ask your question now. I can still need two hands. Please ask your question. Mr. Olanrewaju, please can go ahead, sir. Mr. Olanrewaju, are you here? Okay, Mrs. Olajumoke.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you, Ma.
Yes, my question is just based on my on cooperative account.
Okay.
Can one ask about cooperative account here?
Okay, just feel free to ask. Just yours. Can you go ahead to ask before the GMD?
I want to know if the agreement made last year on our cooperative, why it has been changed without our concern, without me knowing why mine was changed. I don't know about others, but mine was changed without me knowing.
Okay, Ma, as regards that, there was no agreement that was changed, but I'd like to reach out to you personally to resolve your complaints or your current challenge. Kindly send your phone number to the chat box so we can reach out to you after the meeting.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. All right, Mr. Rotim is already with us, so the stage now belongs to him. So you can go ahead now.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to have every one of us this evening, and good evening to every one of us. Thank you from Nigeria to the United Kingdom, the United States, to Canada, to wherever you're joining us from. We are grateful to have your time. And briefly, this will not take too much. We just want to hit on some points concerning the Palmrich Estate model, especially the new one, which is the Palmrich Estate Ibadan. Okay, and for Mrs. Olajumoke, I'll personally reach out to you after the meeting. Let me also reiterate the fact what Thomas said. The cooperative is not totally under our control. The cooperative is managed and supervised, regulated. In fact, our books are audited. Every bit of money you pay to the account are audited by the Lagos state government because it is a direct instrument under the Lagos state government. So if there are any changes, we will always let you know. But for last year, we had some meetings with the government and we reached out to all our customers, but it was not affecting anybody adversely. So, like I said, we'll personally reach out to you, Mr. Solojimoke, and clarify that. Thank you. So, good evening once again. And to the brief of this meeting, the Palmrich Estate project. Let me make it begin this way that yesterday was another plus to us at Assetrise in our drive to make sure that agriculture, that's Friday, agriculture, it's a well understood aspect and technically detailed as a real estate instrument, which is our argument and our subject to most state governments and also the national government to understand the instrumentalization of land as a key instrument to boost agriculture. When land has documents, especially government documents, and then people can partner together to use such land for whatever purpose, including agriculture. And like I said, on Friday, we were at... Please mute your microphone, I beg you, please. Nobody on mute until you want to ask questions. Toma, anybody unmuted, please mute the person. Someone is still distracting us. Kindly mute or remove the person, please.
Olanrewaju, kindly mute your mic. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we were at RITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, Ibadan, which is an international organization that some of us know. And yes, on Friday we had we renewed our objectives with them by making them understand our drive for real estate agriculture. And we have a fresh partnership with RITA on some of our projects, including a land rental income project, which we are also going to explain sometimes during the year. What we're trying to say is that beyond the Palmrich Estate model, which is on palm tree farming, our quest for agro real estate is well established. And that is why I want to take time to explain the keynotes of this establishment. Number one, the palm tree farming project is totally a real estate project plus agriculture. How do I mean a real estate project? Unlike every other agri investment that you've done, and you drop your money with somebody to manage for you and give you return, or we can plant pepper for you and pay you 40%, or we can do fish farm for you and give you 30%. The understanding of the palm tree project is different, and the basics are also different. It is purely real estate because you are owning the land. The land belongs to you. It is registered as an instrument with the government as a landed property. Why do I have to emphasize this? So when we say that the Palmrich Estate Ibadan holds a certificate of occupancy, which we are going to share and show you on the program now, is meaning that this land that you are buying is an instrument that you can use for any landed property instrument. So I'll give you an example. If you want to get a loan from the bank, they'll ask you, you have land? You said yes. Or what's the title on the land? Or you want to get a mortgage finance, they'll ask you what's the title of the land. What we are saying is that the Palmrich Estate Ibadan has government instruments, which is the highest title, the C of O, that can give you opportunity to have a loan with the government or have a mortgage, a real estate mortgage finance on agriculture, like we have a partnership with AG Mortgage Bank to provide finance to some of us who want it. Why do I have to explain this? It builds your understanding on the project that is not just a normal agric investment, because a lot of us have the fear from our background in agri-tech. Some of us, both Nigeria and abroad, has lost so much money. And that's the highest thing we even have to focus on and deal with in our call rates. People narrate their ordeals and you feel like this is too much. A lot of persons have lost their money, putting their money into agriculture. Oh, let's plant pepper for you. Let's plant this for you. Let's do this for you. Now, the safer part of this instrument is that I ask people, if anything happens to an agric investment, what do you fall back to? So if your investment in agriculture is not backed with an asset, the risk is very high. And that is why the Palmrich Estate project is very, very guaranteed, because it is backed with a landed asset that is an instrument that you can exchange for any other reason. You want to sell it, you want to take loan with it, you want to have mortgage, it is an instrument that has a proper guarantee. So what are the characteristics that will happen to your land? Why should you invest in landed properties for this purpose? The understanding most of us have with the real estate is that we buy land and we build on it, either to live in with a family or we build on it to rent to people. And in some of our videos, we have explained that it is good to build to rent. Definitely, the housing deficit in Nigeria alone is over 17 million housing deficit. And that is a huge number to invest in. But we have come out with our research and detailed information that investing in rental property is less profitable compared to the palm tree farming. Now, if you want to build a house, good. In the future, you can build in the house. We can build on it. So, like I said, the land you are buying right now may be in an area where you may not be able to build it immediately because definitely it's being used for farming. But over the years, they will accumulate in appreciations. How do I mean? A Palmrich Estate project in Lagos, which is in Ekpe, some of us bought into it at 700,000 naira. Today, a plot of land there is 3.5 million. That's less than 2 years. Beyond the fact that your palm tree will start fruiting, or you start getting the revenue of your palm tree from next year or upper year, depending on the case or when you purchase. Some of the palm trees are already fruiting. Beyond you waiting for your palm trees to fruit and you start making money from it, your property has already appreciated in high value. That is one of the guarantee with the instrument of land. It has the capacity to appreciate in greater value. And so, if you compare that with your rental income, a 700,000 naira, if you build property on it right now, maybe where it is, you can't even rent it. But in areas where you can rent, like my estate, if you're going to deploy 300 million naira to buy land here, and you spend another 300 million to build, for you to break even as a business person, when we say break even, to recoup both your capital and all your investments and then start making profits, you will have spent over 30 years, 30 to 40 years. And that's why this very oil palm tree farm is very, very profitable, because you don't take that too long before you break even. And it sustains your value for a very long time. I'll give you an example once again, then I'll move into the keynote part of the presentation. Now, last month, one of the major oil palm tree companies in Nigeria, Okumu Oil precisely, we have several of them now springing up, telling you that this is a ripe instrument for us to invest in. You can Google it, Okumu Oil. They own over 17,000 hectares of oil palm tree farm in Benin City, Edo State. And they declared 32.9 billion naira profit after tax last month. And when you do your calculation, you understand that these guys are just going to be in money for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Consistently from oil palm tree. Why do I have to give that example? While every other instrument, monetary instruments like the bond, the stocks, and even your forest is not predictable, your treasury bill, they are collapsing and not predictable. the oil palm tree value is current by time. How do I mean current by time? If there is anything that will fight inflation, is an investment in an oil palm tree farm. Because food, inflation will always affect the cost of food going up. And palm oil is edible. A larger percentage of palm oil production is for domestic consumption. Beyond the fact that is also for industrial consumption, everything that you have used today, somehow, maybe your chocolates, your cream, your lipstick, your toothpaste contains some elements of palm oil. So the market for it is ever sustained. Till today, there have been no research on any chemical that can substitute that, to replace it out. And for the past 200 years, the palm tree has been a sustainable source of income for a lot of persons. Time will not permit us to share my personal experience, especially from my home or my father. But with all these advantages, look at it from the landed aspect, the landed property aspect, that you are owning a land that will keep appreciating in value over the years. It will appreciate in value to destroy whatever inflation that can come. Number two is the fact that you have a source of cash flow that is guaranteed, because the market for oil palm tree is certain. Now, the Palmrich Estate Ibadan, which is the basics of our discussion now. Like I said, it has a certificate of occupancy, and we have limited units of this. And for a proper model of management, let me repeat that again. For a proper model of management, we have created this Palmrich Estate project to become an LLC. When I mean an LLC, we have a registered certificate with the government, the CSC certificate. Choma, please, you can share the CSC certificate on the screen. And it is called Assetrise Palm Project SPV PLC. That is how far we are saying this, by God's grace. Okumo Oil is a PLC today. They started from somewhere, and we are also thinking of the greater future for everyone who is investing in our oil palm tree project. Our projection in the next 3 years is to be able to manage over 10,000 hectares of this. In the next 5 years, to manage over 10,000 hectares of this across states in Nigeria, with a larger concentration in states where you have a lot of the mangrove forest that can support this. Now, for a smooth operation of this, the Ibadan has been designated to be one of our kickoff for the LLC, meaning everyone who buys into the Ibadan projects own a company, or they are part of the owner of the company of the palm tree Ibadan. Let me explain that. The instrument is registered. Everybody will be onboarded. Whatever the revenue we generate from Palmrich Estate Ibadan is not being paid into Assetrise Limited, because Palmrich Estate Ibadan is a company on its own, but managed by Assetrise Limited. And the company is owned by you, the stakeholders, because you own the land, you own the palm tree, we're only managing it. So whenever we harvest the palm tree fronds, we process oil, the money is paid into the central account there, so that revenue can be declared without too much questioning or ambiguity about, how did you come about this revenue? A board system will be structured from the stakeholders who will be able to see all the details of what is happening on the palm tree estate projects. And with that, you can be rest assured that your revenue is going to be well accounted for. Revenue is going to be well accounted for. Okay, the certificate is on the screen now. You see that registration. So we have Assetrise Palm Project SPV PLC. A PLC is a public limited company. So we have a longer vision for the Palmrich Estate project. And that's why we are taking this bold step to make it register with the government, and also to put it from the grassroots as an LLC. Some persons have called and said, why did we limit people to 1 hectare subscription? Like we said, the unit there it's just 250 hectares, and we can't accommodate everybody. So we only want the number of persons who are serious to take enough, to take the precise action to own this as an instrument and as a company, and then we can be accountable to them. Now, I've explained the SPV, and over time, we will reach out to everybody who has bought into this. This is why we are holding this meeting. We'll reach out to everyone so that they can be onboarded into it. We also create a group where we can report the estate activities. You will be able to know the weekly production capacity. You'll be able to know the monthly production capacity and every revenue that is generated. And why are we starting this on Palmrich Estate Ibadan? Because some of us who have bought into other Palmrich will ask why. It is because the Palmrich Estate Ibadan is already fruiting. As we speak to you, their palm trees are vested, palm oil being milled. So it's not like the other ones that we will wait for 3 years for them to start fruiting, which is also a vital business. Like we said, the one in Ekpe now, your land has appreciated from 700 to 3.5 million, not from Assetrise. You can confirm what the estate price is around that place, and you see that your land has appreciated in value. So, but for the Palmrich Estate, because it is already fruiting, we are starting with this, and we are going to onboard all the stakeholders, all the landlords, into a platform where you can see a live field of our activities. And why are we doing this? We owe you 100% accountability for us to achieve the vision of both the Palmrich Estate project. Like we said, in 5 years' time, we were looking to at least 10,000 hectares. And number two, the vision of Assetrise in a whole is to create sustainable wealth via asset ownership. And the last part of that vision states that with legitimate global standard. So we have people who are experienced in banking and in other sectors to make sure that our visions are tailored to suit the pattern of accountability that will give rest of mind or peace of mind to all our stakeholders. So the LLC model, we will call out to everyone who has bought. And for those who are yet to subscribe, you can invite your family and friends. One guarantee we can give to you is if this fails, then forget about investing in Nigeria. Because a lot of the news we've had has been, oh, everything we've done, especially for our brothers and sisters abroad, has failed. And so we have taken our time to research, how can this not fail? One, we have killed greed by itself by creating a model that is accountable to the people. We will share with you, Trauma, please share the C of O instruments. Every bit of this project will be exposed to you, including the C of O. So nobody's telling you it has a certificate of grant that you cannot see. You will see it. You can go and do your search. Send it to the Ministry of Land in Ibadan, and they will give you your search. But already we have a search report that we also will share with everybody, the stakeholders on the platform, that the search report that it was generated for the Ministry of Lands in Ibadan, we will share it with you so you know that your land is as stated. The land you're buying has a certificate of occupancy and it is valid from the government. And the other part of this project I want to explain to us, Soma, we're waiting for you to share the C of O, please. Share the copies of the C of O on the screen so our people can see. The other part of this project we want to expose to you is the long-term benefits of you owning this, and also the passive income aspect of this. We've given you a projection that a plot of land on an oil palm tree farm with a species of oil palms that we are planting or that we have right now in Palmrich Estate Ibadan. For some of us who were at the Palmrich Estate site for inspection and location, you can see that you can hardly even lift a bunch of the palm tree front. They are the maximum of their fruiting stage, and a plot of land is projected to generate 360,000 naira per annum with an average of 12 gallons of 25 liters from the farm, from per plot. Now, understand that why do we use the word projection? You own the land, you own the land. It is your instrument. We are only managing it for you. Now, we have used our expertise to understand this business, and we have done our feasibility studies to show you the revenue part. But also, as the year goes by, the prices of oil palm is not stable, just like every other food item. And we have explained to some of our people that, and some of our stakeholders, There is fluctuation in prices because palm tree fruits by season. Right now, we are at the peak season of the oil palm tree farm. I mean, the palm tree farm in Nigeria and maybe global. From now till late May, early June, the palm trees are going to fruit so well. And from that late June to November, the fruiting will reduce because of the rains and the change in weather and the change in the climate at that period. So the advantage is you can either store your oil. It's not a good standard because government will call that hoarding. But definitely when there is surplus in the market and the market is not taking it, the best thing you can do is to keep your reserve. The same way we have reserves of farm reserves for other productions. And by November, the prices are back up. So at October, November, a peg of palm oil that is selling for 20,000 right now can be 30 or 35,000. We have witnessed this over years, and well over the 200 years, there's always increase in palm oil towards the later end of the year because those season production drops. But it doesn't affect our production. It only means that you may earn more if you abide by the business practice of, okay, let's harvest, let's supply little, let's store some. So our projection is for you to understand, and that's why I'm explaining why are we using the word projection. Also understand that the Palmrich Estate project is not a debt model, it's a partnership. If we don't perform well, you have the entire estate's landlords, including you, have the right to say that you want to exchange you want to either sell if you don't want, or you want to change management. Because the land is yours. The documents we are giving to you certifies that you own it. So every management of it must be clear to you and hits the standard that we have stated. So the passive income are going to come either you want it monthly, quarterly, or annually. But like we said, if you delay it to be annual, you have the benefit of having an increase because by that time, all the production will have been stored or increase. But if you want it monthly, definitely we will sell at the current price and you get your revenue. And lastly, I want to also make us to understand that this is one of the best or the most profitable real estate investments you can do. And how do we mean? I started by explaining to you that if you put your money in rental income, it is good, but it won't be at this profitable. For you to build any property in Nigeria right now, let me use my estate as an example. A plot of land sells for an average of 350 to 400 million. And for you to build, you are spending an average of 600 million. Your rental income will not break even in the next 20 to 30 years. But if you carry 600 million and invest in palm tree farm, you will break even in 3 to 8 years. And your income will be sustained for at least 50 years and more. So profitability is high. The risk of this investment that we are used to is only the risk of you not being patient to want to sell at a peak period. What are the other risks that questions that you can ask us? With wind blow down this palm tree and fall, it's very, very hard for you to see that wind destroy an entire palm tree farm, unlike maybe a plantain plantation. And that's why if we are introducing any instrument to you, they are instruments that we have thought through. Our yams, they are well thought through. The palm oil, they are well thought through. If fire gets into a palm tree farm and burns, if the fire is set out, the capacity of the palm tree farm to bounce back by rain is very, very high. And we have witnessed that over and over. In Ekpe, where we were burning the bush for some of our palm projects, an entire area was burnt down. But when the rain came, all the palm trees springed back to life. So if you try that in a cocoa farm, it is over. The cocoa is gone forever. So this is a tough plant. It's agile, and it can withstand weather conditions and still maintain productivity. And that's why we are introducing to you the oil palm tree farm. A lot of success has been ascribed to this from different investors. If they are well managed, the Okumu Oil, the Okumu Oil Palm PLC, the JB farms, and a lot of oil palm tree farms, especially in the south and the southwest of Nigeria and the south. If this is not a business that is genuine or transgenerational, or the risk is high, you don't have much inflow into it as you have. Recently, Plateau State government is trying to break the record in the north, and they launched a 4,000 hectares oil palm tree farm because it is a viable business. So we are telling you, you are investing in one of the most profitable real estate ventures, viable, and not just viable. If you want to plan your retirement, we can tell you this is one of the best avenues to plan it. Once you invest in an oil palm tree farm, you are not replanting every year. You are just going to make your revenue for as long as possible. 30, 40, 50 years, the palm tree will be harvested almost every month. Every 21 days, you can check from your Google, check from other farms. Every 21 days in the peak period, the palm tree is harvested. So for the next 50 years or 40 years, God spare your life, you have settled yourself for retirement. A minimum of 1 hectare will take care of you. It is a transgenerational tool that has helped so many who understands it. I'll give you this last story, and that'll be my last point in this. My father owns hectares of oil palm tree farm. We grew up to know that. Some of my elder brothers, they moved to Lagos, abandoning those farms because we have to get people to mill the oil. And they didn't even plant their own farms. But my father had a driver who was very faithful to him. The driver cannot read or write. As at when I knew him, his salary was 4,000 naira per month. The last 3 years, we united. This driver of ours have hectares of oil palm trees. He owns over 4 vehicles. He has built several houses. He owns a palm oil mill and also invested in timbers. And you ask him, how did you make your money? He'll tell you, oh, God bless the oil palm tree farm. So it has been an instrument that has helped a lot of persons to build financial stability and escape poverty. We are saying everyone can take advantage of this. Either you are a civil servant, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business person. A backup investment that you want to do. Strategic backup investments that you want to do. Lastly, we had on this picture that sent to you. For those of us who don't want to own it, you have an option. But we have 2 options for your subscription. It's like you're subscribing to own it 100%, or you're subscribing to own it for 5 years and sell it back to us. If you want to do that, from you in 5 years. But once you enter into that contract, once you enter into that 5 years contract, that you just want to own it for 5 years and we sell back to you, you cannot reverse your decision. Because by 5 years from now, the property there will have appreciated highly. The land will have appreciated in value. So it's a great advantage for those who want to own it 100%. But if you know that, I don't want to own 100%, I just want to invest in that 1 hectare, and in 5 years' time, I want to get back my 30 million naira, and monthly, as like it has been stated on the agreement, you're going to get 25% revenue every year if you are taking that option. And in 5 years' time, we pay you out. But for those of us who are owning it, your land will appreciate. You can sell the land in the future if the place becomes residential area by the virtue of development, and you can move on with any plan you want to do. I think we have been able to explain from the LLC model to the benefits to the title documents of these projects. And I believe that the Palmrich Estate project is a level project that we want to key into. We have limited units available. And for those of us who subscribed very early, congratulations. The price has changed, and we know that. For those who want to subscribe now, you're going to be subscribing at the new price. And by March also, that new price is going to change, because a lot of persons who have bought now and want to sell, we are willing to buy back from you. So thank you very much. I'll wait for questions And oh, thank you so much for sharing this. For all our subscribers, we're also going to be hosting you to a boot camp in a co-hotel, a 2 days boot camp in a co-hotel, where you will learn more about Assetrise and other real estate opportunities that you can key into, and also see how practical these things can be. So we are waiting to share this information to those who are subscribed. Also, we understand the fears of a lot of persons. Maybe you are so fearful that you cannot deploy. You can get your lawyer involved. This is property. Get your lawyer involved. Let them do all their research. Let them do all their search information on your behalf. Our process are streamlined from subscription to getting your documents. They are all streamlined. Time will not permit me to explain all the processes, but everything that we do are streamlined, and you can reach out to us. We will guide you through. But if you think, oh, Nigeria again, get your lawyer involved, but don't miss the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr.
I'll wait
Rotimi.
for questions.
All right, so now the floor is open for questions. Also, welcome associate partner, Mr. Sebastian, to join Mr. Rotimi as we take up the question and answer session. Please feel free if you have any question to ask, maybe have anything you have at heart about Palmrich Estate, please feel free to ask now. Thank you so much. The floor is open for you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, I have a quick question. In view of if inflationary pressures, does the ROI change from month to month if you choose to get your income monthly?
Okay, thank you. So as explained, the palm tree project has different level of engagement. We started the palm tree project with our palm oil vest. Then we just go to buy palm oil and we sell just by understanding the season. And we've done that for over 5 years. A lot of us who are here has participated in that. And that's why I said, if you are looking for genuity, I think we've got some by God's grace. So we go to the locals or buy palm oil, store them, and at the peak period, we sell. 2022, we witnessed a surge. We bought palm oil at 8,000, about 2021, at 8,500 per 25 liter keg. By November, the palm oil has appreciated to 33,000 in Lagos. And that was a huge appreciation for those who invested. How does that concern your question? If you store, the value appreciation will be declared. And that's why we said the LLC will be open to us, all of us to see. Not because we have given a projection and we say, oh no, if there is any increase, it's not your business. We don't own it. It is your land. It is your farm. It is your business. We are managing it for you. And so we declare whatever happens. If, for example, a keg is 20,000 around now, and by December, a keg becomes 40,000, it means you're going to be earning more because by that December, we will declare whatever we are selling. That is for those who allow us to save their oil and sell at the peak period. The demand at the off-peak period is always high because companies will always use palm oil, and at the off-peak period, that's when you have a lot of festivity, Christmas and everything on the air. So the demand comes and then the prices surge. And for those who save, they will always enjoy the surge. So that is why we explain that you can either say, oh, I don't want that. I want my revenue monthly. No problem. But whatever appreciation that happens will not concern you. And you say, okay, no problem. Harvest, process the oil, and save. Every month that we process, we will declare the units to everybody in the community. And so you see that we're going to have track record. We'll have the scorecard to tell you in January, we harvested so units. And this is how they break down to everybody's unit. So if I am, for example, Mr. Adrotimi, and I own 1 hectare, you will see, your 1 hectare generated 92 kegs this month. You will see. So that by December, when you are selling your 92 kegs that has accumulated, you will know what amount it's being sold for. And then you just pay us our management fee as agreed, and that's all. I hope that answers your questions.
It does. Marvelous. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, any other question?
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, someone is interested, my prospect, but he's asking me for the location of the farm that he wants to send his lawyer to find out some things. So he's asking me for the location. Hello?
Hello, please come again, please.
Okay.
I got your question. You said someone wants to subscribe and he
Yes.
wants the location.
Yes, he
So
wants to send
simply
his lawyer.
chat up with Trauma or drop your details with Trauma on the chat. We will send you the CTC information. It carries the entire information the person wants to know. And so you can even send that to the Ministry of Land in Ibadan and confirm if this place exists or is authentic. And to top it up, you can come to site yourself and see. So, I mean, land information can tell you that the land is real, but you don't know if there are palm trees on the land. It's two different things. So we encourage that you can come for inspection. We had one last 2 weeks. I mean, we had one 2 weeks ago rather. And the next one will be communicated to us, and so we can plan accordingly.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Shola.
Okay, fine. Just mention exact location to just was here for that.
Okay, it's Lagelu, okay. Ibadan.
Okay,
it's
sir.
on Iwo Road. Yes.
Thank you.
Directly on Iwo Road. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. I was about asking concerning the commitment, and what if we have clients that might not necessarily want to go for an hectare? What possible recommendation do we share with them, sir?
Thank you. I think we discussed that last month and also explained why we are looking for the 1 hectares because of the company LLC model process. For those who don't want 1 hectare, it's simple. We will join you with a group of those who are buying. I'm sure you can form 1 hectare. We'll just merge you into a group. But that does not negate that you own the property and you have your own units. We'll simply join you to people that can form the 1 hectare block. So what we have done is to apportion the entire estate into 1 hectare block. So we'll join you to 1 hectare block, but that will not circumvent anything. Your earning is still as projected. Your ownership is still total, but in management, you will be in a block. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Hi, good evening. Hi, right.
Good
Sorry,
evening, Eddie.
I joined quite late, and I know it's recorded. Are you sending the recorded copies to people that attended?
Trauma.
Yes, we're going to have it
question,
available.
Right?
We're going to have the recorded version available after editing, the gaps in between. So we're going to share it. Yes, and we will. That's the reason why we are.
Yeah, I think what happened, the invite I got was say 6 o'clock, and it's 6 o'clock for me now. But I think I just
I totally understand. Yes, yeah.
I forgot the time difference.
Yes.
Now, my other question is, do you have a cushion effect for foreign investors? Because you know the constant depreciation of the naira value. Do you have anything in place to deal with people like that?
Okay. So we may not be able to promise you that naira will stop appreciate. I mean, the naira value and devaluation will stop soon. But one short thing we know is that this will stop. And this is the best window for, international, Nigeria's diaspora or international investors to invest in Nigeria, because when you change 1,000 pounds or $1,000 today, you can buy the whole of Nigeria. But the time will come where your $1,000 will not be able to buy so much. That's about the currency. But in terms of appreciation or value of what you are getting, there are 2 ways we are planning with our international community. I'm going to be in and possibly in London, London and US sometimes this year, and I will communicate to some of us who are in those countries and also Canada. And we are looking for a forum where we can supply our palm oil directly to your country. So it can be sold at your value and you can earn at your value rather than selling it in Naira and then the value will depreciate. So we are creating that bond, same as we were able to solve a little bit of that for our Eco Yams project. Some of our clients abroad requested that we ship the yams to them, and we did, and some of them had good value selling their yams. So we are looking for that, and that may cushion the effect of devaluation because you'll be earning at the current at the value of your country.
So is that plan part of this project, or is this something you're looking?
It's 100% part of the project.
Let me add something to your question. Let me add something. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, I'm hearing you. Yes, I can hear you.
So I happen to be an international investment expert, and I've heard these questions and this concern over time. The truth is that if you check the economics metrics over time, the best time to invest in a developing economy is when it's in inflation. The records are there to show it. All the billionaires in America, you can trace down their investment portfolios. It was between 1965 and 1982 when the United States of America had the great inflation, which meant that people in the United Kingdom and other parts of the world were able to bring their funds into the United States. And when it picked up, it's going to give you over 1,500 in returns. So the people who have concerns making investment decisions are not even the people abroad. It's the people who are in the thick of the inflation, because now it means that my money, what I was worth, or what a million naira was worth to me last month, is not worth that anymore this month. So an investment decision I can make last month, I cannot make that this month. For you, it is totally the opposite. So what you're saying, what you're faced with is, if your investment and what you want to invest could offer you 10 acres last month or last year, at this point in time, it can offer you double of that. So imagine if you are able to buy 1 hectare with the same amount you would have bought 5 plots, because currently Nigeria is having a devaluation. I don't know if you understand my point. So that's why I was talking about the currency conversion. So the truth is that the press is actually having a lot of misinformation and a lot of, disorientation. Inflation in a developing country is the best time for people in the diaspora to make investment, especially when it's in assets such as land. Because the truth is, the land is not going to devalue. I don't know if you understand my point.
Yeah, I do. It's just still the concern.
Yes, I understand your concern. That's why I'm trying to break it down. So to answer your question, it is not an issue because, like we've said, this investment is banked on land. So what we're saying is, for example, if Nigeria is devaluing, so if the naira rather is devaluing, we're losing value for the naira. It means people in diaspora have a very big window, a very big opportunity to, get a larger value for their money when you have it converted. So talking about when you are having the ripple effects, that was what he was talking about, that economics is there to tell you, projections are there to tell you, history is there to tell you that no nation is going to remain in, inflation for. Okay, so at the point where this naira begins to gain precedence, it begins to, gain the right value. You have decisions to make if you feel like, cashing out on your investments and all of that.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks for that information. Please remember to send the video to us.
All right, great.
So I can
Great.
to go through that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, if there are no other questions, we may be calling it.
There is one. There is one in the. Sorry, there is one in the chat room. I think it's a pertinent question. The 30 million for the hectare, is that all inclusive of the land charges and everything?
As of last 2-3 weeks, it was all inclusive because the value of the land then was 1.2 million per plot or 18 million per hectare. Then your statutory fees was what make it up to 30 million. Our statutory fees go to government and to other services. But presently, the value of the cost is 30 million on the land, and your statutory fee is exclusive. But for those who are buying 1 hectare, we can have a special window to negotiate with you and see how we can get you a better reduction.
Marvelous. Because I would hope that we can sort of enjoy that
window
promo value.
Okay, sir. Kindly chat with us. We can call you and see and strike a negotiation.
Many thanks.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you so much. I think, Toma, your meeting is...
All right, so I won't believe all questions have been answered, but I would still employ us to please chat the number on the box, chat box here, please. If you have any question, if you want any document, if you want a video, anything you want as regards this product, please feel free to chat us so that we don't miss out your number. Please feel free to chat us so that we don't miss out your number. Thank you so much for your time. Hello, Mr. Mosmi, you want to say something?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We hope that this webinar takes us to the next stage of our investment decision, and we don't just listen, but then we can always call on us in terms of advisory or any other thing as regards Palmrich Estate or our other products. And for those of us that have questions as regards the cooperative, like I said, please also chat. Feel free to chat. We will attend to every of your inquiries. Thank you so much for our consultants. Thank you, our clients and partners. Thank you and good night.